All right, the article is American Women Get the Vote in 1920. The United States Constitution is the document that sets out the rules about how the federal government in Washington, D.C. and the 50-state government in the nation may govern. It sets out what powers the federal government has and what the powers the states have. One of the powers is it gives every state is the right to decide how elections are conducted in the state and who gets to vote in the state. Suffrage means the right to vote, and it is one of those rights that people have fought for and have been given by amendments to the Constitution. With the addition of the 15th Amendment to the Constitution in 1870, the African American men got the right to vote, but women of all races had to wait another 50 years to get it with the 19th Amendment. Before the 19th Amendment was added to the Constitution, some states did give women the right to vote, but the Constitution did not make it a right that every state had to give women until it was added to the Constitution in 1920. The Constitution says that changes can be made to the original document. The way it is changed is that the Congress and the state vote to add an amendment to the original document. It has been changed 27 times. As the country's conditions and beliefs changed, new groups wanted rights, and that they did not have at the time the Constitution became the land of the law of the land. In the 1800s, most of the states gave unmarried women many rights that were equal to men's rights. For example, as long as they did not get married, they could buy and sell real estate, such as land and homes, write a will, and work outside of the home in many types of jobs. But in many states, as soon as women got married, a law called covenanture made them totally dependent on their husbands. Covenanture stated that the husband owned everything, even money and property the wife brought into the marriage, and the money she herself earned by doing work. The husband had to support and take care of his wife and family. A married woman could not own property of her own, sit on a jury, get a divorce without her husband's agreement, or have custody of her children if she got a divorce. In many states, the only job married women could get outside their homes was school teacher. In the middle of the 1800s, some women got together and began to work to change laws that restricted the rights of both unmarried and married women. During the Civil War, 1861 to 1865, women served in the army as nurses and did other jobs. After the war, many women said that if they could do these difficult and important things, they deserved the right to vote. It took a long time for the rest of the country to agree. Although both married and unmarried women were already given the right to vote in some states, there was no national right to vote. Some men did not want women to vote. They believed that politics and governing should be left to men, and so only men should be allowed to vote. But there were also many women who were in favor of giving women the right to vote, and some of them joined women in their right to get the 19th Amendment passed. Many more men and women joined the women's suffrage movement after World War I, 1914 to 1918. They knew that women had worked outside the home during the war, doing jobs that men who left to serve in the military used to do. They also knew that women worked as nurses and other things to help the war effort. Finally, in 1919, Congress passed the amendment. Although it was not proposed, it could not be added to the Constitution yet. It needed 3/4 of the states to ratify or approve the amendment. In 1920, enough state legislators voted yes, and the amendment was ratified. The 19th Amendment says that the right of citizens of the United States to vote cannot be taken away because of a person's sex. All women in every state who were at least 21 years old would now have the right to vote. On November 2nd, 1920, Election Day, 8 million women across the United States voted for President of the United States and other elected officials. All right, now you can start your exit ticket. I'm sorry, time out. Now you can start your Somebody Wanted Butt Sews.